There we go. Football Friday, January 3rd? 3rd. Friday, January 3rd. Myself, Marty Mush, Ev, Clemmer. Brought to you by Game Time. Football season is here, and we can't wait to get out to some games with the help of Game Time, the official ticketing partner of Barstool Sports. You know how much we love Game Time now with their brand new Game Time Picks feature. They're making it even easier to get to a game. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. The Knicks play in Oklahoma City tonight, but there is a return trip next Friday night, January 10th, Thunder at Knicks, $176 to get you in a great deal on Game Time Picks. Just pull up the chosen event and turn on the GT Picks setting at the top of the screen, or browse the best local Game Time Picks deals near you on your Game Time app homepage. What are you waiting for? I'm going to buy those Knicks tickets now. And let me give you a little piece of advice as well. If the game tonight, which they're saying could be a finals preview, I know it's a long shot and Dukes is bugging out, but people want that to be a finals preview in New York anyway. Maybe not in the league. It might not happen. But if that's a good game, the tickets will go up for next Friday. So you might want to get in on that earlier.
You're saying OKC Knicks could be
a finals. It also could be
not in the conversation.
It could be Hawks Nuggets. Like, you want to list all the combos? It could be all. It could be all the combos. But in New York, yeah, I picked too bad. Like, whatever. Or the Nuggets aren't bad. But what are you waiting for to buy those Knicks tickets now with Game Time Picks? Download the Game Time app today and use code PICKS to easily score great deals with the new Game Time Picks. What time is it? Game time. All right. So we had
Knicks are in the conversation, by the way.
What?
Knicks are in the
They
conversation.
have to be. They're one of the top
Plus
3 teams in the East.
Anything plus 1,000 or longer, I won't.
You should also Knicks fans have to take back their cat talk. Cat's great.
I took it back a long time ago.
I liked the trade when it happened.
There was some cat.
I had to get.
It was on the
I
show.
had to get talked through it.
Yeah, I remember. I loved it.
I had to get talked through it.
I don't remember everyone, but there was some cat.
I was
slander.
I was in once the contract stuff. I was like, okay, like this, I'm in.
And I also realized how much worse it made the Timberwolves.
That's the bigger, almost the bigger takeaway for me.
Yeah, Randall's like just it doesn't fit. Doesn't fit.
Cat's playing out of his mind.
I'm still skeptical of the Knicks defensively, like with Cat to 5, but like offensively, like when we are like playing our peak ball, like I think we can go toe to toe offensively with anyone.
Yeah, but you had the defense last year, right?
Yeah.
And you were lacking that offensive besides Brunson, and you were close. Like
yeah.
I think you're rather in the NBA's day and age now. I think you want to be where you're at.
Yeah.
No, and I think the defense has improved. Like all the numbers have improved from the first couple weeks of the season. But no, if there's a concern, that's definitely it. But I also Robinson's going to come back. Like that should help. It's tough to rely on him long term, but I also think they'll probably make a move for a big guy at the deadline just to add some depth. Mm-hmm. Just to have another guy you can have with Robinson where if Mitch gets hurt, we still can rely on this guy in the playoffs. Whatever big men.
Cat's playmaking has been the thing that stands out most to me. I was not expecting him to be this good of a passer.
Great passer. Because I also think it's credit to him, but it's just also the Knicks they as a team just play super unselfishly. Mm-hmm. So I think you almost you come over there as you have to fall in line. No one there is worried about how many each night you have Bridges have a big game or OG has a big game. Brunson's score numbers are down, assist numbers are up. He has no problem shooting less, scoring less. It's just a good culture. It's just a winning. They're just doing the right things.
Yeah. I was saying yesterday that I don't know the exact thing, but my dad grabbed me during Christmas break or we would stop by for New Year's Eve or whatever, and he's like, the Knicks had 5 games all of last season that had 15 assists or something, or 20 assists or something like that. Yeah. They've now had 15 or at least 15 or 10 of those games in that winning streak of 15 games or whatever it was. They've doubled. They're just sharing the ball. That was the point of the story. They're unbelievable.
Last year was so much Brunson ISO ball, but it was almost they needed to do that. They had to win that way.
The offense looks much better.
Yeah. It's so much better.
You got a lot of guys who can score.
Having Towns is such a lights out 3-point shooter, and then obviously Bridges is a good shooter too. Everyone people jumped off the Bridges bandwagon so fast. He basically had a bad shooting night against the Celtics, first game of the year in the first half, and people were like, "You guys gave up all your picks for this guy." And he's a great defender. Yeah. He's shooting way better. I think he's averaging 18 a game now. He's the guy we traded for.
The Knicks are much more of a threat as far as I'm concerned this year than I ever thought they were last year. And I don't get me wrong. I think the Celtics are still the best team. I'm saying the Knicks are much more dangerous.
Leon Rose, this guy just keeps making the right decisions. Cat gave them a better chance to beat the Celtics.
Absolutely.
And at first I wasn't sure because of the defense, but we're never gonna just like this Celtics team is so loaded. You're never just gonna like clamp them up. You got to try to go score with them.
Who was your second option last year?
Dante.
Probably Dante. Yeah.
Now you have
Dante,
Dante was so
Now
underrated.
Cat's won. Like Cat's the first scoring.
When Jalen Brunson's your second option, that's a lot more of a conversation to have.
And have like Bridge,
Dante DiVincenzo.
Now you're right. Now you got Bridges in that.
Bridges and
You
OG
have
is like
Knicks fans
3,
crying
4,
about
like,
the Villanova. They're breaking up the Villanova people.
This isn't Dante's. Dante was a very underrated defender.
Yeah,
he was. He played. He was good.
Revisionist history is going to be like, oh, Dante DiVincenzo was the second option. He was so good last year.
No, I don't
he was
think
great.
it's
He was great.
I'm not saying it's revisionist history. I also don't think
get
it's
it.
bad. I'm just saying to win a championship, it's like you had a good team, but now you've elevated.
They were
I also
they were
wasn't talking
fine
to you
last
about it.
year.
I
They're
meant more
better
like
this
in
year.
5 years from now, we're going to look back and be like, if Dante doesn't like pan out in Minnesota and he kind of becomes like, because in the NBA, you can kind of get lost. You could be on a team like the Knicks. You're in playoff contention. You're putting up like like what was he averaging? Like 15, like 42% 3-point shooting.
It was
last
the
year?
perfect fit. Like
Yeah,
he was
right,
the perfect
exactly.
fit
And
to
now
play
he-
alongside Brunson.
And now he could be like lost in the NBA. He could just
They're-
be like on the Hawks, and then like you're just like, where's
How's he
what
even
happened?
doing on the
to
team?
I don't think he
they,
finishes
they,
the year.
they
in
don't. They
Minnesota.
barely play him. It's crazy.
Yeah,
He like
it's
doesn't
crazy.
play that much. It's insane.
He might come back. I heard.
No, I was going to say, I think that Leon Rose has got to be like, hey, like, we'll take that back for 50 cents on the dollar.
Yeah.
He's also on a phenomenal contract. He's in like a
can't-
4-year, like 11 per year contract.
Yeah,
This
and
is
we
year
can't
2.
take it back until like the summer, I believe. Like you can't trade from at the
Yeah, there was
deadline.
something, right? I saw
What
Nick
could they
Nurse
do?
talking
Like
about
a trade and then another trade? Is there like a loophole?
I don't think that loophole exists, but I
Well,
could
no,
be
when you,
wrong.
like,
trade him to then trade him.
Can't.
no,
Once the guy's traded, you can't trade him again for 60 days.
Oh,
I
that's
know
right,
that.
That's
Can't
right.
they cut
that's
him?
right.
If they cut him,
They
yeah, you
wouldn't-
could
they
sign
wouldn't-
It
him.
wouldn't. He is
know,
value.
It'd be
just
crazy
saying.
to cut him. Yeah, he's on such a good deal. But it's great. His stock went down, even though it really shouldn't. I mean, he's just in a weird spot right now.
Last year, the Knicks were 18 games above 500, right? This year, we're not even at the halfway point. They're already 14 games above 500. That just shows you how much better this team is now. Like, I laughed at you guys last year because I thought it was kind of cute. Oh, they like their little Knicks and they're second round. This year, it's like, no, this is actually like a legitimate team.
100%. No, Leon. I can't stress enough how Leon Rose has totally changed the culture of like the franchise. He just makes every right decision. Like he does everything that the Knicks like didn't do in the past. He's built this team the right way from the ground up. From he picked his free agents, his draft picks, like everything has just like made this team like he's just slowly like built this roster, and here we are like where this is gonna be our best chance. And all the guys are locked in place for a long time. Every guy we're talking about is like 28 years
I was
old.
just saying, they're not super old.
Every like from Brunson, Towns, Hart, OG, Bridges, they're all like 27 to like 29 years old.
You guys did. I will say, I'm not saying it wasn't worth it, but you guys did give away a lot of your future. I understand why.
And we still have way more picks. Like
It's
we
the-
stockpiled all those picks to like go.
It's the time to do it, and it makes sense. But like there is that, I guess, that worry, I guess, but not really. I mean, if you have a competitive team, you got to, especially if you have a team like the Celtics in the East, and you got teams like Oklahoma City in the West, you got to put your chips in the table.
And when you're
God,
built,
if you're that good,
and when you're built to win long term like that, you're playing under like these picks are not going to be like
Right.
high draft picks if you're planning on being in the top 4 or 5.
28th,
If you plan on being in the top 4,
26th
like
pick.
top like
Yes.
a top 2 team in the East every year, like competing for a
it's on
championship.
lottery picks.
This was
Yeah.
my point about the Warriors too, which like goes into the Knicks. Like you can't be like this year's a wash. Not like the Knicks are taking it like that, but like if one thing happens to Tatum or Brown or like the Celtics, like the Knicks are right there.
Yeah,
I agree, but I think that's different than the Warriors, though, because I think the Warriors are so many teams are ahead of them in that pecking order.
Not that. I'm saying like this was like weeks ago when we were having this argument. I was saying like you can't like you were like well you have like Oklahoma City and you have I forget which other team you said. I was like yeah, but if you think they're not now, but if you think the Warriors are the third team in the West, you can't just use this year as a wash because all of a sudden you can push yourself to the finals.
Right, but you agree though they're not. The Warriors are not the third team.
We're not doing this.
Not-
I'm not,
We don't.
I know.
We got to talk about
Not
that.
gonna
I know
agree
what
with
you're
that for a
doing. I
second.
know what you're doing, you fucking
we
dirty
agree.
dog.
We got it.
I know what you're doing.
Let's talk
So we agree with that, right?
No.
How many
Clever,
times
stop
are you going to
doing
ask?
this.
Because I'm not getting
Six
answers.
times. I just said it.
Oh, you did. All right. The Dukes isn't. Dukes. Well, you're not
I
saying
know
Dukes.
what you're
knows.
doing.
You just
I
said
know
it.
what you're doing.
No, he's pointing at me and screaming.
I know what you're doing.
Do what you're doing.
What I'm doing, I'm being right is what I'm doing.
No, I'm not.
You're
know
wrong about a
exactly
lot of
what
other
you're
things.
doing.
You guys keep the Rams are in the playoffs.
Let's get into a
You said
debate.
they
Do
were
we all
washed.
know what Club's
So what are we
doing?
doing?
Okay. Let's
We can
get back to the
do
Rams if you want.
right and
We
wrong.
could bring up the records too. The right and wrong, it's fine. But like I will say this though about the Rams.
It's 2025.
A new year. Stafford.
1-2 in 2025.
Stafford is way more durable than I thought he was. Cooper Kupp was exactly what I said he was going to be. And the Rams had a nice year. They'll make it the first round. They'll probably lose the first round. I don't know if that's If I was that,
That's
they weren't a Super Bowl contender.
Winning the division, I think
It's a
beats
legit-
that like
especially
they were
against the
legit.
Niners,
They were a
I never thought that would
legit team.
happen.
Legit team.
They're gonna be-
Honestly, what they did that they drafted so well on defense. They hit every draft pick. I mean, Jared Verse is probably going to be defensive player, like rookie of the year. Fisk, like strong D tackle.
I still think that defense still took a step back. It wasn't their fault. I mean, they lost Aaron Donald.
But I'm saying like in other ways, they filled those gaps tremendously with the assets they had.
And I love McVay. And I said I give Stafford a lot of credit. Stafford held up all year.
A rookie receiver that's in his second year who's going to be like a top 5 receiver.
Yeah, Puka's incredible.
Yeah.
Puka's
Puka's
awesome.
legitimately
Awesome.
a top 5 receiver, like almost now.
He's really good. Cooper Kupp's not what he was. That's
Yeah, but that shows how much, like how good Matthew Stafford really is.
well, Matthew Stafford's awesome. I was worried about his durability. He proved me wrong for sure, and I like the guy. I'm happy, but I don't think that Rams team is a Super Bowl contender. I think. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't.
So they're going to be
The NFC
so
is
so
just
who are
not-
they? So who are they going to play? Probably they're going to be the 3. So they're going to play the 6. They're going to play probably who is that? Washington.
Oh no, Green Bay maybe.
Yeah, I think it's Green Bay or
stuff.
Minnesota, right? Green Bay.
That's right. Like the 3 and the
I know,
4 and the
Green
6
Bay.
and the 7
Green-
can flip like pretty easily this weekend.
Well, I was saying, Green Bay and Washington have the same record, right?
Yes,
Or
they
is-
do.
So yeah, so one of those two. So tough game.
Right now, Green Bay's the
To,
7.
to the Rams' credit, it'll be in
They're
LA.
probably, they're going to play Washington or Green Bay.
I would take the Rams over Washington.
So the Rams,
I might.
Rams
game.
path right now
That
is
could be a good game.
Rams path right now is Washington. Not that terrifying.
No.
But also,
And
we
then the
were
Eagles.
saying
The
that
Eagles
but,
are very
like,
good, but it's like I'd rather have.
that to me is two different teams.
It's very different, but
I think Washington has become like this Daniels is so good. It's almost like
Yeah.
he's so clutch. Like he's a guy you want. He's a guy like if you're the Commanders, you want the ball down 4 with like 2 minutes of you're fine with that scenario. Like you feel good about your guy.
That team has
Keeps
such
doing
a
it.
bright future.
Every
That
time he's in that
ownership-
spot, he delivers. It's crazy.
Let's talk about the college football quick, because that was a big game.
you want to
yesterday.
get in the weeds in the NBA. Keep getting in the weeds in the NBA.
About that. I don't know if you guys remember. I do have a future on Notre Dame. I did say that beginning of the season, kind of not by you. I got laughed at a little bit. Not laughed at, but a little bit of like they don't really have a chance to win the national championship. They very much do right now. Obviously, they handled Georgia. I know it's a backup quarterback. He wasn't even that bad.
Their defense is for real.
Their defense, and
Defense
that's the
is
thing
totally
about
for real.
Ohio State.
Their offense, though,
Who plays
What Notre Dame's?
Notre
offense?
Dame next? No,
Penn State.
State Penn.
Penn State.
Penn State.
I think Notre Dame wins. But Ohio State and Notre Dame makes an interesting matchup where their defense and that juggernaut offense would be a very cool matchup. I think is Ohio State the favorite by like a good amount right now?
6, but I
Yeah.
couldn't believe it. I didn't look at the lines.
Over
6
Texas
points.
or is the
Six.
No, by the
Over
whole
Texas.
thing.
Oh no, we're plus like 115 to win it all.
Yeah, so you're a
Yeah,
favorite.
you're the favorite.
like,
Wow.
like huge.
That is a huge favorite.
Oh, I
Like
mean, they're way better than
like
this. Is a
Tex-
pretty weak 4.
No, this is I'll say
Good names.
Notre Dame, by the way, favored by a point and a half next week.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say week 4. I mean, well,
they all are.
in
It's,
terms of where, all right, put it this way. They all were, Notre Dame had a slip up, obviously, with Northern Illinois, week 2, whatever that was. But then from there, they've been pretty consistently in the top 10. State Penn, in the top 10 all year. Texas, in the top 10 all year. Nobody had a, like,
Well, I'm saying with
drop.
week
They were
4 is
all,
that
what?
this year no one was very good.
Well, because you can now
No, but I
everyone
think-
can pay their players.
yeah, but I think the
No, I don't-
but I
no,
think it
there's
just
usually-
evened out.
Hey, their players. It should be more like teams. There's usually standout teams. There hasn't been.
It would have
any
been if Ohio State had beat Michigan. I know it's a big if.
That's the thing. They
That's a big if,
lost
though.
to a 6-5 team at the time. Like
know.
it's just. I'm just saying it's not a weak. The 4 names is fantastic.
But you know what? But I think, and every year is different. But I think this even goes to show that I think there's been years where teams that didn't get in
Yes.
were like capable of winning it all.
1,000%.
And I think this shows like we can get into like the bye thing and like what if that like helped you or hurt you.
You have to. I understand. There's 2 teams that probably didn't.
That's-
beat
I
that, but
think
there
it
also
was-
the 2 teams that the 1 seed and the 2 seed also lost. So
I
we
saw
could still
something-
talk
And
about
it ended up in a weird spot where like the 1 seed had to play literally like the arguably the like the 2 they were in my opinion like the 2 best
Yeah.
teams
Oregon
played
got
in the Rose Bowl.
Oregon got fucked. I saw something by seed. It's 5, 6, 7, 8, correct?
Yes,
In
that's
the
what it
semis?
is.
That's correct.
Yeah, it's
By
5,
ranking, I think it's 3, 4, 5, 6.
yes.
So, like-
Yeah.
So like when you look at that and you said it's it's mediocre or it's a down. 3, 4, 5, and 6 were the seed. This is what they were seeded. I'm sorry. This is what they were ranked.
Which is more
So, like,
important than the seeding if you
that
go by
means
quality.
the cream rose to the crop, or to the top.
Yeah,
He was only missing 2 teams. Like,
Yeah, 1 and 2 went out, and then
Yeah,
3, 4, 5, and 6.
Oregon was in this, Marty, would you think differently about this Final Four? Or are you just saying there's no elite team this year at all, period?
I just don't think the college football teams haven't been very good this
I
year.
think that's been kind of a consensus, right? Isn't it? It hasn't been like a breakaway
Honestly,
team.
I think it's. We'll see how it plays out. I almost think it's partly like our fault.
No,
Ohio State's fault.
no, Ev, it's not
Because
bad.
like I think like if we listen,
definitely your
I haven't got it. It's crazy. I haven't done this show since we won both these games. Like if they play like they did these 2 games, they will win every game like that. Like if they play
when they throw the ball, yeah. Their fucking receivers are unbelievable.
If Will Howard's gonna spin it like that, like, and they're gonna just like they're gonna call these kind of plays. Like, we're gonna beat everybody by 20. Like, it's not gonna be close.
So this week,
Like,
though,
Notre Dame to me is a team. Notre Dame, the reason they're so good is their defense is great and they're so smart. Like, they just take care of the ball.
Riley Leonard
They
is-
never beat themselves. Notre Dame is good enough that they can beat anyone if they just play their game and the other team like makes mistakes. Like, I think if Ohio State plays their best, like, they roll Notre Dame, they roll Penn State. But it's just Notre Dame is good enough that if Ohio State or whoever, like Penn State, they're about to play, like, if they don't bring their A game, like, they can win because they can outlast you. They'll just like keep like last night, their offense did nothing.
Riley Leonard had
But their defense is incredible.
90 yards yesterday.
Yeah, they house a
for
kick for
90 yards.
they house a kick for a touchdown. They come up with a big play where Kirby Smart is dumb. They go a quick 3 and out. That was so stupid. Give them the ball back. Then they go down. They kick a field goal. Then they get the ball. Immediate strip sack. They take advantage, score a touchdown. Like, they're just the kind of team. Like, if you leave that door open for them, they'll take it.
Oh, and I want to say, what's his name? Parker
Parker Jones.
deserves an apology from the ref. Parker Jones was not in the field. I'm telling you, that ref was more out of bounds than he should have been.
He's too close to.
And also,
you're a guy
ESPN
not even in a uniform. You can't be that close.
That was
Who are
fucked
you?
up what they did to ESPN at the end of the game. It was 3-0 Georgia when that happened. Obviously, it went back because they maybe got 7. That is not the reason they lost. They panned in on him when it was 23-10, being like, "Look at Parker Jones walk." It's like, bro, they didn't lose because of that fucking play.
I mean, things change momentum.
Yeah,
though.
but
There's
that
a
was
weird
a first
bounce.
quarter. Like, I still think the ref was pretty far out of bounds. I understand you shouldn't be there, and but there's fucking camera people that close.
where was the get back guy?
You can't
What'd
be.
you say?
Where was the get back guy?
They have that box.
He's on
Why don't
Kirby.
they have
You
like
need to get
fucking
that guy.
ropes like they do at the airport?
They should.
Just put them in a box and like.
You can't be Parker Jones in sweatpants there. In that
He was the perfect guy.
That kid's got to be like.
looking like a Delta Kappa, like
Was
with
it-
his haircut.
He actually was in a fraternity. He's an SAE.
Was that real, Dukes, that he's not on the roster this morning?
I think
That can't be real.
Yesterday when I was trying to look it up because I was just like right when it happened, I was like going to dinner. I was looking it up online and his thing was down. Like, I don't know if it was crashed because too many people were looking it up.
He's on the team still.
Let me see.
He may not be next year.
He might not be.
But I'm saying he's not like. We'll see, mate. He might not be next year. But I think he was on the roster as of this morning.
He's going to be on it.
You think he'll be on the team next year?
Well, I don't know anything about Parker Jones, right?
He's a
Might-
red
but
shirt
If I had to put on,
sophomore,
if I had to put on
He
my
might
thinking
leave.
cap right now, Parker Jones is from Georgia. He's 5'11", 180, and plays D-back. His dad must be an all-time boost.
With that haircut?
Actually,
yeah,
really
yeah.
Yeah,
funny.
take that from a 5'11", 180 D-back. Like, you ain't going
his
anywhere.
talent was Nichols. His dad's paycheck was Georgia.
Dave retweeted his high school highlights today. Someone just said
Yeah,
fucking Parker
he's
Jones
on the
highlights.
roster. He's on the roster.
That's unbelievable.
Dude, he went to Deerfield. I don't even know where Deerfield, Windsor is, but that's a rich.
Sounds
school in
nice.
Georgia.
Deerfield, Florida. I'm pretty sure. Deerfield, Florida.
Deerfield Beach, Florida.
There's
yeah.
Deerfield, Massachusetts.
Also Deerfield, New Hampshire.
Oh, okay, all right.
Great fair.
I've said it perfectly.
He's a
though.
Southern boy.
Notre Dame is a well-coached team. I think that their defense is very good, and Riley Leonard is a very good running quarterback, and he doesn't make the stupid mistake. Like, he threw for 90 yards, and they scored 23 points. And I think they're better than Penn State. I think Penn State's had a pretty cakewalk. And I know a lot of people are on
I think
Penn State.
I think Penn State's a lot better, but they're just dumb enough to lose a game, like to make those mistakes. that
That's
they
what
lose to
I'm
Notre
kind
Dame.
of going with.
That's where it's like I go back and forth.
I don't think
I think Penn State is much more like talented. offensively they definitely are more talented.
Definitely.
But they're James Franklin and them. They're like just like sloppy enough
They
to do that thing they shouldn't do and lose a game they shouldn't lose.
What do you think about the take that people have that James Franklin made the Final Four without winning a single big game?
It's correct. I would say that's
accurate.
I would say that's
Liam
accurate.
Blutman had that take. That's why.
I would say that's correct.
Boise
Boise actually fought. Like Boise
lost that game big.
fought.
They left some opportunity. They left some points on the board. Do I think they were going to win that game?
1000%.
No, but him not going for it early was pussy. And then they
I think that shows Penn State that they're like
Yeah.
not that good. Like Boise State is not they shouldn't be in the same. I don't think
They also, but they
truly
gave
don't think-
Oregon everything they can handle. Too.
I don't
Like,
think we're ever
Boise's
going to
good.
have a G5 team beat a playoff.
Probably. Listen,
I really don't think it's
Boise,
ever going to happen.
I saw Jack. I talked about Nestor Rogers. Jack Mack tweeted too, and I agree with him. I think this Boise team legitimately is like one of the better G5 teams we've seen in a while. We talk about Blutman. Blutman like disagreed with me about that. But I think that Cincinnati Sauce Gardner team is the best G5 team I've seen.
Yeah.
Like maybe in the last like 15 years that I can recall.
I agree.
I think Boise's like in that next. Like I think they're in the top like 5 G5 teams of the last like 10 years. Like, I think they're a legit, very very good G5 team. They have like multiple NFL guys. They have a running back that's like that I think is going to go like dominate in the NFL.
But it's again like it's men versus boys usually in that game. Like when we talk about college basketball, the reason there's upsets it's because you can get cold and your best player can get cold. Usually the in the trenches are the linemen, you don't really get cold. You just are stronger, more athletic.
Yeah.
Better than them.
I saw the take of like, oh, this is why we should have left it at 4. You can't leave it at 4.
I think this shows the opposite.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, listen,
Clearly, the better
Clemson
teams are outside
lost
the top 4.
Clemson lost by a good amount. Like it was one of those. Clemson didn't win the game. Clemson hung around for a while.
Yeah.
Arizona State fought their balls off.
Yeah.
Boise left some points on the
Arizona
board.
State should have won.
Tennessee
You guys
was the
gotta
one.
understand-
Tennessee was the one that got their
It's been
doors.
a bad
Tennessee and
it's been a
Indiana.
bad playoff.
That's because the seeding.
That's
It's gotta
fine.
fix the
Tennessee and
seeding.
Indiana
I
got
don't think-
blown out. But
I
like,
think you definitely, but I think you have to acknowledge it's been a bad
No,
playoff.
it's been really bad. But it's because the seeding, though.
Agreed.
Like if they fix
Yeah,
the
no,
seeding,
of
you get
course
more
it is.
competitive
Yeah.
games.
Of course, they have to
That's-
fix that.
That's not the playoffs'
Like
fault.
that's
you know what I mean?
I
Like,
think
Like,
I like
should
the
have been
12.
it should have been like Indiana versus like Boise type thing in the first round.
That's what it should
shouldn't
be.
be like Indiana versus Notre Dame and Boise.
we have more
and, like,
competitive games.
Boise should have a
1000%.
bye.
I
and-
agree
yeah.
with that 100%. I think that the 12
Or it was
is
like
great.
Clemson, Indiana. You know what I mean? Like Clemson, like I don't know.
The fact we
whoever.
got all these games, we still have a Final Four is awesome. But we just need to change the seeding, and I think it'll be a lot better.
I have a question for Ev. So, Ev, Ohio State's looked really dominant these first 2 games playoffs, without a doubt. Let's say you guys lose a close game at Texas. Do you want Ryan Day gone?
They can't fire him, but I'd be disgusted.
But he's back next year, right?
Yeah, he's not
Pretty
going.
much. I think they've showed they've been so
He's not
dominant.
go-
And
he's
that
not going.
buyout is so huge for him, right?
He's not going anywhere.
Yeah. Okay.
And I don't think I'd want. I apologized. I apologize.
Yeah, I mean, you Ohio State fans have a lot of talk.
No, but I'm allowed to. Like you lose to
Yeah, but
Michigan.
you're
like that.
allowed to also go back and be like,
Totally.
2 weeks ago you were saying fuck this guy.
What's
I think
weird-
you should have been saying fuck that guy.
A month ago, I was absolutely.
what's
I
weird-
think that you could both. There's both sides that can go. You just said this and that.
yeah.
But then it's also
There's
like
been material change.
what's very weird to me is that after this whole ordeal, the Michigan loss and the 2 big playoff games to a degree, Ohio State is weirdly like back where they should be, and now the season starts. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like this is where they should for this whole all this
You're in the
bullshit.
driver's seat right now.
Yeah, like all this bullshit. As it turned out, like if you could put that past you, this is where Ohio State is supposed to be.
Where they wanted to be.
Where they were
Yeah, like and now the season starts. So like, if he won the Big Ten and he still lost to Texas, it would be the same thing. He can't win them. So like, just go win. Just go beat Texas. You know what I mean? Like that's where he's at.
The weird thing with Ohio State and Texas this week now, right, is Ohio State is the clear like, oh, they're just gonna win, you know. And Texas did just have a little bit of a blunder against Arizona State, who is far worse than Ohio State. That's the gambler brain. I think my own brain. I think Ohio State is 15 points better than Texas. I truly do. I really do. I think that their offense and their defense is better than Texas's both. Quinn Ewers makes some stupid fucking mistakes. Their defense just let up 31 points, even with overtime, obviously, to Arizona State. And it's not even close, their offenses. But when you gambler brain, you almost see like everyone's now like Ohio State is here. And Texas just had the one game everyone's talking about. Maybe they can slip by them. but I don't know. I really don't know. It's I think Ohio State's so much better than them.
It's just if they can just match that level of like intensity and like just the execution, like no one will touch them.
Yeah.
Like if they play
Unless
like
Arch
that,
comes in.
if they play like that against Oregon, Tennessee these last 2 games, they'll win both by like it'll be like laughers.
Your worst nightmare is Quinn Ewers getting hurt. Worst nightmare.
Sure. I mean, yeah, sure.
He played good though. I feel like in the overtime and everything at the end of the game.
I mean, no. Fourth, their season was on the line.
Oh no, yeah, he
4th
made
and
some great
13,
plays.
and he drops a fucking dime, and the next play, bang.
I mean, most teams lose when your kicker misses two field goals like that, and also gets scored on first in overtime right away.
My brother-in-law is a Texas fan. We walked onto the flight together, leaving Colorado, and he was like, "Fuck, Ewers in this position. I'm like so screwed." We get off the flight. He goes, "I'm all in on Ewers." He was like, "This is the first time all season I'm like, I feel confident with them." I like them.
I just think, I mean,
What
they're a
about
good team.
Texas's
They're
defense? Does
talented.
that worry you at all? Like
Their defense?
against my thing, my only gripe with Ohio State, and I want to know your feelings on this, is I said Will Howard playing elite for 4 games. I do not trust him to do that.
I hear what you're saying. He just did
He's
it. He's
on
fair. He
another
just did
level
it for
right
2.
Right.
He's 2 for 2 right now. I'm calling him Playoff Willie.
Wouldn't let him on the stage.
That's
But
Playoff Willie. He's a man of class. There was a weight restriction. He could see. A lot of guys would have shouldered him over, and he respected him. He said, I don't need to walk up there. Let my teammates get the shine.
Was Jack Sawyer
That's a
up
leader.
there?
Yeah, Sawyer was up there.
Sawyer was
Yeah,
up
Sawyer's
there.
up there.
He loves
I love
himself.
Jack Sawyer. God,
Do you
Jack Sawyer
actually-
loves Jack Sawyer.
I love Jack Sawyer.
It's a dream Final Four,
Do you
though,
think-
to a degree. Like in terms of
Name-wise,
big names,
1000%.
yeah, it's like just the pageantry. I mean, Texas, Ohio State, and
You'd
State.
rather-
It's in Texas.
Yeah.
It's at the Cotton.
I know.
Oh, that's tough.
Love it. Route.
What's the best-
Where's the
what's-
other one? Arizona?
I think so.
Where's Notre Dame State Penn? Arizona?
I don't know. Orange Bowl?
Oh no, Miami. There we go.
Miami.
What's the best
Miami.
place? What's the best matchup for the championship?
I don't.
Notre
Any of
Dame.
them?
Probably
really
Notre Dame,
any of
Ohio
them.
State.
I'm
Notre Dame,
okay
Ohio
with.
State,
Really.
probably.
I mean, I hate State
no
Penn,
one,
but
no one wants Penn State, Ohio State.
If Ohio State,
Why not?
if it's Ohio State, Penn
the
State.
best conference, as it turns out.
No, but everyone's gonna walk in there being like, oh, like it's Ohio State's over. Like,
Yeah,
The game was close when they played. Like,
but did you
rematches?
watch? But did you
I
watch
did
the
it.
game?
Francesa said
It
that.
was close,
Francesa
but it
said
wasn't
rematches are hard to sell.
Yeah,
in the
no
national
one
title
wants
game.
to, and then it's not like it's Michigan and Ohio State. It's Penn State.
And it's
Ohio
not a
State.
rematch. It's a game that Ohio State. That you talk about Ryan Day can never win the big one. It's the one he's won every time.
Yeah, Ohio
And
State.
Franklin's
Yeah,
a
but leading up to that, Franklin now can Franklin do it? Can Franklin do it? That's the whole storyline.
No, he's not,
the whole
though.
world's going to be like, no, they can't. Whether they can or
but if
not,
they
that
do?
spread
the
would be
narrative is going to be.
Oh yeah, I'll be.
That spread might be 9.
No.
Dude, they beat them.
It'll be like
at Penn State.
it'll be like but even that spread was like 3.5, 4. It'll be like 7, like 6 or 7 probably.
He wasn't off. I mean,
But nine's like it'll be within. I think it'll be within a touchdown.
That's
But it also
a championship game.
It also depends on these games because obviously they go beat like Notre Dame, their value will go up,
Right.
and it depends like
I
if
don't think Notre Dame Ohio State's the best matchup for sure. I
I
think.
love Penn State against Notre Dame.
I do too.
I like. Penn
It's just
State to
whether
win it all.
if Penn State can fumble it because they have all the tools to win the game. It's whether they will like give it away.
Yeah, but so did if you look at the stats without the score, you're like, oh, Georgia won that.
But that's what I'm saying. Georgia gave it away. It's
I
can
understand.
they like can
But
Penn
Georgia's
State put it
usually,
together and not give it away?
But Penn State is the team that gives it away.
That's my whole point. Like,
I know
can
that's
they-
what I'm saying too. Everyone keeps saying Penn State's like it
I
should
think that's a
win.
bad matchup for Notre Dame.
I do too. I agree. Because
love Drew
Penn
Aller,
State
too.
plays good physical defense.
Yes.
And they also they have the good backs. They don't have like crazy athletes on the outside, but they have Tyler Warren who's like unbelievable.
I think Drew.
and they have
Aller's-
a good quarterback. Yeah,
I
they
think
have
Drew
a good,
Aller's like 1-1 going.
they have a
into
good
next year.
quarterback. There was a lot of hype. Like if he just lit it up in this playoffs, like would he just come out right now?
I think he's a top 5. I think he'd be taken. I think he'd be the second quarterback off the board this year.
I don't know.
He's got all the tools.
He's tough because he still has some things to clean up. Like you see the improvement,
Right.
And I think if he goes, he could be 1-1 next year potentially.
I think him and Club.
Because I think Arch is not going to come out next year.
No.
I think Arch is going to play
I
2
agree.
years as a starter. He's not worried about the money and all that.
agree.
I think he's going to wait. So I think Drew Aller could be 1-1 next year, especially if they win this Notre Dame game and then he goes has a good season next year. Could easily be 1-1.
I agree with that.
He's big, tall, like huge arm.
Rocket arm.
Yeah, huge arm. You've seen the improvements. Like, you see the
That's
strides are there.
He's probably more of the reason why I'm taking Penn State than I trust him way more than I trust Riley Leonard.
I think him and Riley Leonard are actually almost the perfect representations of like these two teams, where like the ceiling is like higher.
Yeah.
But Leonard will not make mistakes. Like
I agree with that.
Aller could
make a mistake.
Aller could throw a pick or two, but he also will hit
This
deep
is a
balls.
respect off. I agree with that.
He'll hit deep balls and like
Oh, we're having a good
Yeah,
conversation.
this is respectful. I
he'll
agree
do
with
things that
everything you're
Leonard
saying.
can't do.
Yeah. Dream Final Four though, I think. Like
Really
really
good.
matchups,
There's no
big
one else I'd
games.
think I'd add, and I know Marty. Who would
Yeah.
you want instead? Because Georgia with the backup, even though he didn't.
I wish Oregon was in this. I wish Oregon didn't play Ohio State yet. I wish Oregon was in the first. I understand that already happened, and I understand
Also,
it
seeing how
lost.
that game went, though, I'm kind of glad we got it out of the way now, though.
But I do think, I honestly think Lanning, it wasn't a bad quote. Like Ohio
that
State.
was like.
I mean, that was a funny quote. You could.
No, but that's you can't say that after you got just like demolished. Like
You had
that's
an off, but that you do have off games. Like you had an off game against.
But
Michigan.
that was very like that was cunty as hell.
Of course, it was
Yeah.
empty.
That was like as a man you that's the kind of guy you are. Okay. No. Absolutely. Are you kidding me? You get you're the number one team all year. You get your doors blown off, and you go like that. You literally try to throw shade at the team who just like literally curb stomped you in front of the nation.
I mean, you guys.
it was
did
34-0.
You guys did the same thing to Michigan.
We weren't talking about anyone else when we beat other teams or when we lose. We
We
weren't.
talked about Michigan, like planting the flag.
But that was the team who beat you. Like Oregon's bringing up a team that had nothing to do with this game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
he
lost.
knows
They got
what
curb
he's
stomped by
doing.
Ohio State, and he's like,
He's
"Well, they
bringing up,
lost.
like, well, they
lost.
like
Yeah,
they beat
it's
like who gives so what?
Funny, but
Who
I
gives a
get
fuck?
it.
Who gives like what happened today, dumbass? Like
It's kind of like a little. Yeah, it's kind of like a little.
like you were
kid.
down 34-0. Like this game was a laugher.
It's kind of like a little kid when you get yelled at by your parents and like, "Well, Marty did it." It's like that don't matter right now.
What it was like he's like, oh well, they
100%.
beat you.
Yeah.
All right, well you didn't.
Used to do that all the time.
Like guy, we played a game 12 seconds ago. We kicked your ass.
Yeah.
Like what are you talking about Michigan for?
All right, let's go into the NFL Week 18.
I got a couple.
Worst
questions.
gambling week.
Awful. So
It's always hard.
There's a couple I like.
honestly, this is the one where I think
There's a few we're gonna breeze past.
you go-
Baltimore's laying 20.
go after the
Fucking
props.
the Browns.
Go after the
Actually, I like
props.
the
where they-
Browns.
I
money,
have
money
I have a
props.
list. I have a list.
Money props.
I have a
Incentive props.
Mike
Money
Evans.
props.
Marty's on this.
Mike Evans, 5+ receptions, 85+ yards for $3 million. He gets.
So
that's the biggest
Big.
one.
No,
He
I
doesn't need
love
a
that.
touchdown. He just needs 85 yards.
5 receptions and 85 receptions.
How many does he need for the 1,000-yard streak? How many yards is he short of 1,000? Is it
I
within
don't
reach?
I don't know.
But-
Let me look that up. I'll look it up.
Geno Smith, 185 yards passing, $2 million. It's a lot of money for
That game
185.
matters for them, though, right?
No, Seahawks are out.
Seahawks are dead.
Yeah,
Rams are playing Jimmy Garoppolo.
yeah. But I think Geno.
Rams already won the division.
Yeah.
Yes, because something happened with Washington that made it impossible for the Seahawks.
Okay, all right.
But
It's
Yeah.
like tiebreakers or
So
something.
what's the line on Geno? I'm sorry again.
185.
So right now it's 247. The over is minus 120.
He needs 186. Yeah, he needs 186.
So
to
that's just.
do it.
Yeah,
DeAndre-
you don't. It's never. A lot of these prop people go in and they're like, "Okay, good. The line ain't 186."
Yeah.
So you're.
Yeah, but you
could-
still think if you're getting 186,
You can get 200 for minus 400. Take 200 or more.
put that. in
Oh,
the
it's that he
parlay.
needs 80, it's the 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
for
Oh,
Mike Evans.
Mike Evans.
It's
And
80, he needs like that's to get 1,000.
Antonio Brown had the most infamous prop day ever. Remember 3 years ago where everyone was taking Antonio Brown's props because he
Yeah.
had like a certain amount of catches, get the over, and then he just takes his shirt off, runs off the field.
Yes.
So by the way, Mike Evans, the book is shockingly is all on this. The line is 100 yards, which is wild.
Yeah, I mean,
minus 120.
yeah, the
Over.
but I mean that's not bad though.
That's a lot of yards.
But they also don't need it, right? They're already.
No, they need
The Bucks need the game.
No,
They
they
need to win,
need
they need
the
to win.
game.
They need to win. They're not going to force it to
They
them.
literally have to win.
Well, they kind of
And they play first, I believe.
They
Or at the
play
sa-
at 1
or
o'clock.
at the same time. At
Same
least?
time. That's why I kind of
you gotta
like.
this
you
one,
gotta
this
go.
one's
I kind of like Carolina. Could you see if Tampa gets up to a massive lead, Atlanta being like halfway through, Atlanta being like, "What the fuck? I ain't getting hurt," and Carolina creeping back in that game +8.
That's
Kinda
why
like
I hate
like
betting.
scoreboard watching. If only if
I don't
it's
get-
a lot of like ifs and buts, but if Tampa Bay gets out to like
I
17
think
nothing,
Penix has a lot to prove, though, too.
They don't show the scoreboards in the arena. But
really?
Yeah, they do that to like have a avoid any competitive advantages.
Yeah, but you just tell me the coaching staff doesn't know they're in the fucking booth.
Yeah, that's
right there.
I know, but I'm saying I think
Bullshit. That's theater. Don't fall for that.
I think the coaching, like these coaches, like Tampa's coaches going in there saying like we're not even thinking about Atlanta. We're just like we win this game, we're in. If we can win by 50, we're going to. You know what I mean? Like I don't think they're getting up 17-0 in the second quarter and like they'd have to be up like 47-0 in the fourth quarter. They're calling off the dogs then probably, but I think they're just blinders on. Like we're winning this football game, we win the division.
What's another one you have, Marty? You have any other ones?
This one's a really good one.
All right.
Kyler is 50+ rushing yards and a touchdown.
Like a rushing touchdown?
Yes, rushing touchdowns for $750K.
Interesting.
So that's a one that could be a good line.
Anytime touchdown score, Kyler Murray plus 170.
And do 50+ rushing yards. Parlay that.
I think Kyler Murray stinks.
50 plus is plus 260. Now it's plus 550.
Plus 550 for Kyler Murray incentive
Little bonus
is
game?
great.
Against a team, by the way, the Niners have nothing to play for.
No,
Yeah,
the
they
Niners
both
are.
don't.
The
They're also-
Arizona's a 4.5-point
Both
favorite.
just going to play.
You know what, Marty?
I like that. I'm gonna
Let's
do it.
ride.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm taking those
And then-
Kyler props, but he's been so bad in his career in the second
But
half
another
of the
guy-
season.
I know, but like, why? Like, it's one game.
I know it's more
Another
like
Against a
one-
team that's kind of quit.
Another one right here is Cortland Sutton.
Ooh, I saw
Love that.
Half a mil, 82+ yards.
Love it. That's
And
what
that's
I like.
a meaningful game.
I bet his yards would be much less than that. Like his usually would be like depending on the team they play, it'll be like mid-60s.
The line for Cortland Sutton is 73.5. It's minus 115.
Who are they playing?
They are playing
Chiefs.
the Chiefs.
Team. They're sitting everybody.
It's a Sunday 4:30 game
Makes
too.
sense. Sitting
And
everybody.
so add 10 more of that, get plus money.
Yeah. No, the props are a good idea. Well, let's go through the card as we always do. I think
Wait,
there's
I'm
a
sorry.
ton of
80 plus
skips.
is plus 105 by the way.
Before we go, we were talking about Sam Darnold yesterday, right? We were talking about what did the Vikings do?
Oh, yeah,
Do they
yeah, yeah.
sign him? Do they trade JJ
Yeah.
and get Stephen A. Smith went on a rant this morning about Sam Darnold being like, what are we talking about? This is the guy. He hasn't thrown for 300 yards since they played Chicago in Week 14 or something like that. I still believe that Sam Darnold is like, what do you think? We were talking about yesterday. I think you almost now have to sign him.
I remember.
Right.
It's funny. I remember I said this to Jack Mack, just like shooting the shit early in the year, and he was like, "No chance." And I was like, "What if?" Kind of like that when they're like, "What if they like they go to the NFC Championship game and this guy like he has a great year and
Win the division.
he's played so good this last like month and a half of the season. The first like half of the season I was like, like nice story. Like they'll probably make the playoffs. They're good enough, but I don't know. He's been so good this second half of the season. If they win the division, if they're in the NFC, if they like go to the NFC Championship game, Super Bowl, whatever, I don't know how you can move on from him.
You win the division.
I don't know.
When-
They're
when
in such a
salary
weird.
cap,
So it's not just winning the division. It's winning the division with 15 wins.
With the Lions
That's what I'm
having
saying,
It's not. This is not the Rams and the Seahawks back in the day on Week 17,
Yes.
where they were eight. They were each eight.
Sam Bradford.
They were 8-6-1, and
like,
they're
they're
playing. And
legit
they're like,
as
"This is a
fuck."
great game on Sunday night." And I was like, "I don't really give a fuck about
Yes.
this." It's two bags of shit trying to see which one stinks less.
100% agree.
This is what are they? 14-2 each. 14-2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The winner of this is gonna be 15-2.
Be the number one.
win the
They'd
division.
be the number one seed in the NFC.
Number one seed.
Home field
insane.
advantage and a bye. Like
It's awesome.
it's tough to move on from
The
that.
Chiefs are probably gonna lose. They would be tied for the best record, right? In the league as well.
Yeah, it's tough.
Give me the Chiefs.
So
like,
here's
we're
It's
not
like
talking about
it's
the
an
Chiefs.
unprecedented situation.
Here's a half measure for you guys. What if they just franchise him?
No, I think that's what they would do.
So they
I
franchise
don't think
him.
they can.
Why?
I think there's like something with his contract where he's not allowed to get franchise
Oh,
tag.
really?
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think I've heard. I've seen that too. They can't franchise him.
Oh, fuck. Because that would have been a great way to give you an insurance policy in case JJ can't come back in time, too.
Yeah.
Fuck.
They're
They
in a
really,
weird
they
spot.
really are in a rock and hard place here,
They're
aren't
in a
they?
bad spot and the
And a
best
great
spot
spot.
and a great spot.
Yeah.
The worst spot and
Fuck.
the best spot. Because it's like
I think
you
you,
pay
I think you
him-
have
he
to let
said-
him go. If you believe in JJ, you
he said
have
he's
to let
gonna
him
get
go.
50 mil probably.
He's going to get insane money.
I mean, probably, yeah. I
year.
think he'd be someone who would get like a short term, like a. Like
Oh, I don't.
Like no, I'm saying I don't. I think a team would be more inclined to give him like a 3-year, like 140, 150.
I actually agree with that.
I
I don't think he's signing like a 6-year like
do.
300. I don't think
Why
so.
6?
No, I don't
There's
think
so
he's
many
getting
teams.
six
I don't
years.
think
Here's
so.
what.
I don't think he's getting 6 years.
Here's why.
5 years. Yeah, I
There's
don't think
so many
Three.
teams that
that's like
need a
three.
quarterback. There's so many desperate teams.
Yeah, but you
I'm
saw.
not saying he's worth that.
but
I'm
a
saying
lot-
they'll overpay.
You
But I
saw
think- but I think
one.
they're-
It's
but
been
they're
one
still
good season
gonna-
of
but
him,
they're-
right?
they're still gonna-
You saw one good season. You're gonna pay for
Cousins got?
6. You're gonna pay
But
for
he's
6.
shown a lot.
Kirk
better-
Cousins has more than one good season.
Coming off an Achilles, 36.
But Kirk also, like, it was a longer body of work, and with Darnold with this season, as much as he deserves all the credit in the world, you're still sitting there saying you have Justin Jefferson, you have Jordan Addison, like that. Like a lot
Their
of guys
defense
can
has
do
played
well throwing.
very
And their
good.
defense has been awesome. It's not to take away from it. Just that will be a bargaining tool against him. Be like, because if he goes somewhere else to like. I'm not saying this team's going to sign him, but like if he just went to like the Raiders or like the Giants or
The
like whoever,
Titans or the Jets or
Titans,
whatever.
and it like and you play like shit, like
The Jets
you're-
signed him.
it's-
You know, that's not gonna happen.
I know
it'd
it wouldn't,
be-
but that'd be the funniest thing.
it'd be
of
like
all time.
Daniel Jones 2.0, but he had a 1,000 times better season than Daniel Jones ever had. But just the like you sign the guy and all of a sudden you're like, oh, like what did we do? Almost immediately.
Yes, I think there's a very weird. Somebody's gonna pay for him, but there's a like weird spot there where it's like you saw one good season.
But it also turns out
because
paying
they
for
might say
4,
they
yeah.
might like the crazy like they, almost like Belichickian might just be like JJ could throw with this team. Like if you really
Yeah.
if you believed him as much as you did literally a year ago, not even a year
Drafted him
ago,
10th
you drafted him 10th
whatever it
overall.
was, yeah.
You clearly like the guy. You believe in him. He's a younger guy. Like you might
agree.
give him the keys and say, hey, like
Minnesota better be right on JJ though, because if you let Darnold walk after
Agreed.
that season,
And-
that's a night. You're like, oh motherfucker, that's a nightmare.
Also, JJ is now coming into a higher pressure
Yeah.
situation.
Yes, like where it's
if
if
he
you don't
started
win
off this year
immediately-
and was like, it would have been all right. Give him some time. Now it's like we were just fucking 15-2, won the division. We let the guy go for this guy. It's a way higher pressure situation. But turns out having really good receivers helps.
Yes.
and a good offensive line and a
Yeah.
good running back,
And a good running
good
back.
defense.
Just a good coach.
Yeah, good
Help-
situation.
Really
good
helps to.
O'Connell's coach of the year. I don't care what anyone says.
No, he is.
O'Connell is the
Definitely
coach of the year.
Also,
Not even. I think it's like not even close.
speaking of good
Harbaugh's been
coaches,
awesome.
Good coaches. Ron Rivera was a.
You get
Okay.
Talking about Ron Rivera and Rex
That's a
Ryan.
good- that's a
dude.
good-
You can say that, but you know who's in Forum Park right now at this very moment? Mike Vrabel.
He's kind of an overrated coach.
He is a losing coach right now, but that's fine. He's a losing record. as a coach.
So Ron Rivera, Rex Ryan, I'm allergic to those guys.
Louis Riddick,
I
GM.
don't want anything to do with
What
those
about
two
Louis
guys.
Riddick?
I don't. I don't want.
Louis Riddick's great.
Yeah,
I
that'd
want
be great.
someone.
How
I want
did he get the
established.
interview?
I want established.
TV
winners.
makes your value go up. It's crazy.
I feel like the Jets are going into the closet and like when you're homesick and your mom is like, play with this, and it's a dusty ass board game.
Or, yeah,
That's what they're doing right now. They're like, it's missing pieces.
Oh, it's-
They're going into the closet and pulling out dusty
They're
ass
pulling
board
out
games.
like Sega right now. Like
Yeah.
Sega Genesis is like this was a good game.
it was
At one point.
It was very good.
Actually, yeah, a better
I don't know if it's gonna work anymore.
A better analogy is my grandparents' beach house. You know what their system they still have? You could still play video games. It's Super Nintendo.
That was great.
So they're like, yeah, we have video games at the beach house. You kids can play. It's Super Nintendo.
You're still blowing on the.
Yeah, we're still blowing on the
Give me Super
cartridges.
Nintendo over Rex Ryan and Ron
Still
Rivera
to
any
this day,
day.
it's
When I
yeah.
dude Louis Riddick, I was like, GM, like come on, don't why even
Brutal.
interview?
I know, but I will say though, Mike Vrabel is
Didn't hire him.
talking right now.
The fact that Ron Rivera is still getting jobs, how it should show
These guys
you.
are cockroaches, bro. Same in the NBA. Like I think he's dead, but Lenny Wilkins will get an interview soon.
So yeah,
These guys
You always
fucking
bring him up.
they have
he got
fucking.
jobs forever. Like
Who's the other guy that helped the little girl sing the national anthem? Mo Cheeks. They're fucking these guys are on benches till they drop dead. Look them up. Where is Mo Cheeks right now? I bet you it was only like 2 years ago he
You
coached.
know what's funny though?
They're like cockroaches.
Lenny
Who's also
Wilkins is
getting-
alive. He's 87 years old.
All right, he'll
God
get
bless.
an interview
Oh, yeah,
somewhere.
yeah.
Who's getting some to the Bears would be really funny. Would be Mike McCarthy. That would be so.
I don't think Mike McCarthy's going anywhere.
So either I'd prefer
I
Mike
think he's staying with
McCarthy.
the Cowboys. I do. I really do.
If you look at the list of options for the Jets, Mike McCarthy is in my top half.
Crazy. That's bad.
What about Pete Carroll?
That's bad.
What about Pete Carroll?
What are you laughing at?
Talk
You-
about a
like,
dusty board
What?
game.
You have Jared May over there.
I'm fine.
There, he's
I
out.
was,
You're
Mayo's out.
chasing happiness that like left me years ago.
Dukes, I want to.
Like, you would never
I want
be-
to announce that I officially think Mayo's going to be gone.
I said even like guys like Mike Felger and a lot of the guys in Boston seem to be really saying he's gone.
Yeah, I think he's done. So
I didn't know. Like
I'm shocked.
I knew what like Belichick in his last couple of years GM wise didn't hit, but
Oh.
Again, he had a team surrounding him. I think that like it all falls on him at the end. But when it comes down to like bad coaching, I didn't really know what it was to watch 16 games of a bad coach.
Yeah, welcome to the club.
Yep.
Holy
Brutal.
shit.
Yeah, I've told
need
this
this guy
story
gone.
before. I went on a bachelor party to Ann Arbor, but the kid was a huge Michigan fan. Went from Michigan, Illinois. Michigan blows them out. We were sitting in the end zones, great seats. It was a great weekend. Sunday, we left on Monday. Sunday, the Patriots had a bye, and it was in the prime run. It was 2017, so it was a prime run of like Super Bowls. A lot of kids there from New England. Me and my buddy were Giants fans. The entire day, Sunday, they were like, how do you guys watch this shit? They were like elite citizens asking like if I was serving them like crap sandwiches. They were like this. I can't do this. This is garbage. The London game, the Giants played the London game. Like this is crap. The 1 o'clock slate, they're like this is crap because they were so used to the Patriots. You guys you were spoiled.
Yeah,
you were just such elitist, spoiled kids for 20 years.
Yeah.
Fans, I should say, not kids, but fans.
No,
it's
I was
crazy.
a kid.
No,
I was,
kids
I was
too.
a-
Yeah.
I was a little douchebag. Yeah.
Exactly. All right, let's run through it quick. There's a ton of like skips. I don't think people have opinions on. Baltimore minus 20 against Cleveland.
God.
Total 41.
20?
Pass or play? Anybody want to play this?
I really like the Browns.
I kind of do too.
Here's the mentality. I think the Ravens might be up by a ton at the half. They bench everyone, and the game gets to like 13 or something. Don't get me
Really?
wrong.
Also, Zappy is better than DTR.
I agree. I mean,
Listen. I don't think that's
Fact
not
that
saying
was a
almost
sentence
anything.
that came out of your mouth is
That is
why we
factual.
should not watch this game. That is a embarrassing statement.
I'll take 20. I'll take the Browns at
too.
20. They beat them with Jameis.
I might take the Baltimore just for fun, minus 20.
I worry they're going to bench everyone in the fourth quarter.
yeah.
That's why you don't like these games. This is why
This is really
sucks.
treacherous ground.
This is where you like keep the unit sizes like don't get crazy. No reason to get crazy.
Save that money for the playoffs.
Yeah,
I
don't
will
get
say
crazy.
there's one I really like. I like Cincy minus the 2.
I don't hate where you're.
Pittsburgh's
I don't
playing
hate-
bad
they
and
need it.
Cincy's
They
playing
need it
good.
bad.
Completely
Cincy's
agree.
playing a full day.
I like it too.
If this was reversed and
I'm
the
a little
Broncos,
nervous. I'm a little nervous about how everyone's thinking their back is against the wall really badly. But also Steelers want to win because would they win the division or no?
No, if the Ravens
No,
win, the Steelers could bench
Ravens
everyone.
got it. Yeah.
Okay.
Here's what I like in that play, by the way. I like the over 48. The last time these two teams played, it was way more than that.
Yeah.
So you right now should get the Bengals at 2.5 because the Ravens win. They'll bench
Yes.
everybody.
I wrote down
It'll
2.
go
It
to-
moved.
it'll
It
go
moved
to-
already to 2.5. Yeah.
Go to 7 or 5.
Yeah, I agree. I like Cincy a lot. A lot. in
I like that
spot.
over a lot.
I'm gonna take the Bengals now.
Buffalo. You know what? Lock it in.
Yeah, because it's gonna go way
Do
up.
it.
Pull up
Let's all
DraftKings.
ride together.
Are the boys doing it?
Yeah, I like the
All right,
Bengals.
I'll get in now. I'll lock it in early.
Keep an eye on that over, too, guys.
I'll lock it in
I
early.
never lock in things.
I might just take the money line.
No, I think they can win. I think they'll win. The spread.
First time the
crazy.
chat will not be mad at us being on our phone.
Buffalo minus 2.5 against New England.
Stay away from me. I mean, maybe
Yeah, no.
even that Drake May interception prop. What if they bench him in the second
Josh
half?
Allen's
no
also
opinion.
going to stop playing quickly.
I think there's so many
What
variables.
does
this
Buffalo
game.
have to play for?
What?
What does Buffalo?
Nothing.
Nothing,
Nothing.
right?
Nothing, but they did.
Josh Allen's going to start, and then they're going to sit him
And
for
the
the
Patriots, in
streak.
theory, should want to lose.
I'm going to tell you this.
But Buffalo
Still
should
no win.
want New England to win, so it fucks up their draft.
This is
game.
Lovie
Right.
Smith. This is Lovie Smith in Houston.
If you
When
were
he won that game, got rid of the first round.
Yeah.
pick. this is Gerard Mayo's last game. We're
Yep.
gonna win. We'll win by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, do it for the fans.
Yeah.
I'm not touching that game.
if you
Weird.
remember,
I'll be rooting very hard for the Patriots, though.
if you remember a few years ago, the Bills were in a similar spot like this. They were playing not as the Patriots are obviously really bad. They were playing, I think it was the Dolphins, like similar, like where they had like Bills had clinched already, nothing to play for, and they absolutely boat raced the Dolphins. And I kind of feel like maybe not boat race, but I kind of like the Bills. Like I think just their still even without Allen, like just their component parts are still probably better, better coached.
Mitch is fine.
Like, Mitch, like
backup.
he's a fine backup. Like he's not horrible. I mean, for backup sake, he's actually probably pretty good.
Probably in the top half of backups.
Who's
right?
Buffalo's backup?
Mitch.
Trubisky.
Trubisky.
Oh.
So like not like could be way worse. I mean,
Yeah, it's not horrible.
getting
Yeah.
a starter
We're
for
going to see a lot worse quarterback play this
also-
week.
Also, this is
He
a
touched pass last week. I mean, I kind of like the Bills. I'll take a shot at the Bills.
it's a Dukes. This is a UNC quarterback game.
Trubisky versus Drake May. Yes.
I want the Patriots to win so bad.
I think the Bills are going to win.
Let's go Pats.
Tampa Bay minus
Why
14.
do you want them to win?
So they don't get number one pick
Why do you not want them to get the number 1
because I
pick?
hate them so much.
What pick do you have?
I don't know.
4?
It's like 6 or 7.
No, they have
Oh,
like.
you guys are elite.
You never. Yeah, I mean, you don't want the number one pick. In
I don't want you to get it because then the number one pick is value. I don't want you guys to get that. I want you guys
will
not to
trade
do
it.
well. I
You'll
hate
get a
your
haul.
team.
Yeah, you get a haul.
Wait, I can't believe you.
Pats
think
will get a
about us
haul
this
for
much.
it. Or they'll just take 100.
Why?
Yes, but
I just can't. I just. It's shocking how much you think about.
I hate the Patriots. I hate the Yankees. I just hate them. It's fun.
Tampa Bay minus 4.
It's fun.
Tampa Bay minus 14 against New Orleans, 43.5. Anybody playing it?
No.
because Tampa needs it. Obviously, they're going to be playing balls out.
I don't. Those Mike Evans lines. I like Marty's like the incentive. I like the philosophy, but those lines are just too heavy for me.
Green Bay. Stop. You know what? Just stop me when you like something.
Yeah.
Green Bay minus 10 against Chicago, total 41.
So this game is pretty big. Caleb Williams needs 607 passing yards to be the first Bears quarterback to throw for 4,000 yards in a season.
Oh, that was funny.
That's funny. That's a good one, Phil.
It's crazy that his numbers. He's going to end the year. His numbers are going to look like not bad. If you just
Not bad at all.
If you saw nothing and just saw like his touchdown or reception, you'd be like, he had a good year.
Yeah.
And then you realize he takes every sack imaginable.
So many of those
Super
interception
accurate.
props.
Yeah,
I did like 5 weeks in a row, and he just didn't throw picks. He just didn't throw the ball.
A lot of excuses and Ev said it right there. He
takes every
his
sack in
line
America.
Is not that bad. It's bad. It's not.
If you saw 20 touchdowns, 5 picks, you'd be like, or whatever it is, like it's something like that. You'd be like, it's pretty good.
You know what? I'm taking Caleb Williams not throw a pick because he usually doesn't, and it's weird.
That was brutal last week.
Brutal. But you know, you guys say that like honestly,
No, like guys, like we were like, oh,
we're saying just
no.
bad.
But that's how those picks. A lot of times you'll lose on those. So I wasn't that upset about it because like,
no, that kills me.
oh really? Because
That means you were so right.
Yeah.
Those interception plays. That's
Those kill me because
You can get
when I'm
goofy.
so right and it's not my fault, I get upset.
that's a risk.
Because most of the time, it's my fault.
Those pick plays are risky with that though.
I agree.
Same thing could happen this one.
Those are the plays I get the most mad about. It's like when you feel like truly you watch, like you bet even a side where your team dominated and then they like don't cover. Like that drives me insane.
Mincy he took team total under Duke 14.5 yesterday.
Oh my
And
god!
It was 45 to 14. And Duke housed a kickoff with a minute
With a
left.
minute left. Oh
And
my!
he didn't
I
take
even
minus
realize
17 and a
that.
half. He's like, oh, I like Duke better to not score. And they housed
Oh
it
my
with a minute
god! I
30
didn't
left.
realize. I didn't even think about that.
You have to take.
It was
you
a
just
good
take
bet.
Ole Miss. You're a
Exactly.
fan of Ole Miss. Just take Ole Miss.
Yeah, that's weird too.
Philly
Also,
minus. That's crazy.
I'm high on Jackson Dart. High.
I don't know.
Hi.
NFL. I don't know.
Oh.
I don't see it.
I putting my hat in the ring right now.
Go ahead.
Remember this. He's going to be a steal of the draft.
Plumber, can you please remember this for us?
Remember this for us.
Yes.
Philly minus 3 against the Giants.
I'm a quarterback whisperer.
Now we're gonna have to fucking watch Jackson Dart preseason.
Yeah,
tape.
exactly.
Jackson
Big
Yeah,
Dart?
we are.
His name is-
Jackson Dart.
I like the name.
Great name.
Great name.
Wait till you see him.
I don't see it. NFL. I don't see it.
Cool name.
Hey.
I don't see it.
Jersey with Dart in the back.
You know what
That's
they
kinda
said?
Guys wore it the
All-time
Dart Day.
SEC name.
Let's
Great
just say
SEC
everyone,
name.
everyone in the SEC was smoking darts.
Yeah,
Clemmer.
Quiggs has a darts
You know what
jersey.
they said to me? Baker Mayfield going to be so bad.
Yeah, he's
Remember
right
they
on
said that?
No, Marty. I was out on Baker
We
Mayfield. I
hired
like
John.
Mayfield.
We hired John Gruden. John Gruden's a quarterback whisperer.
You can't say Baker Mayfield was the #1 pick. He's nothing close to
No,
Jackson
but
Dart.
everyone gave up on him. That's
Oh,
not. No,
he was-
Marty gets credit
He
for
was
that.
playing practice squad for the Panthers.
Marty gets credit for that.
I'm a quarterback whisperer, Dukes. It's okay.
I never
was
sold
big
my
on Baker
Mayfield
Mayfield.
stock either.
I did.
I never.
A
sold
lot of
it.
people know you
You
didn't.
know,
You didn't.
I was the
I had
guy.
a lot of it, too.
I was the guy yelling that. What are the Browns doing? Getting rid of him so fast with the labrum.
Me too. But then with the Panthers,
I was on this
what are
show.
we
I was
doing
like,
now?
they're treating him like a second-class citizen. He's the best quarterback they had in 20 years.
Listen, John Gruden's going to be looking at me being like, that guy knows ball after Jackson Dart's
exciting.
star. Yeah.
I do think there should be a stock. We've had too many tangents, but I do think there should be a stock exchange for athletes and actors.
There are.
100%.
I know.
There's some startups and stuff with it.
Yeah, I think it needs to be like it. There should be
It's
a
tough to, like, how
full-on
you could-
stock exchange for that.
I know there's companies that have tried.
Yeah.
Are you still
Or are trying.
DMing minor leaguers?
No,
that was my favorite
My
thing you ever
prospect
did.
dried up fast.
It was so funny when you used to do that.
3 or 4. No, they would follow me first. That's how it worked out. They initiated the contact, and then I would
I
say
don't care what it was. I think
they followed
it
me.
was a funny
I had like
way.
4, I think, in the Rolodex, and
You
all of
should
them are
even-
out.
Baseball, the percentage is too low.
Yeah.
Like,
I
there's a
actually think
million
is
guys
Max,
go to the minors
is
and
Max
do
Burt
nothing.
still in your system?
Max Burt?
Yeah.
No.
For the Yankees?
Are nowhere close to. Yeah,
right.
There's no one. We're not talking about Max Burt.
I think I'm
can
0
tell
for
you
4.
that. The system ain't good.
Philly
Todd
minus
Rust.
3 against the
Not
Giants.
good with, I don't know who it is.
No play. Nothing on Philly.
Oh, I like the Giants here a lot. Giants +3. I bumped it up
This
to
would be the
+3.
most Giants thing of all
Yeah.
time.
And like this McKee kid, I know he came out. He had a good game. He came in the game yesterday or
I liked
last
him
week.
at Stanford.
But, like I think when you get a little tape on him, it might not be so good. So I'm on the Giants +3. Plus the Giants, you guys have been shooting yourselves in the foot.
Atlanta -8 against Carolina.
Max Burt update. He's 27 years old in AA for the Yankees.
Huh?
Oh, he's still in the system.
I don't know what, Bert.
All right,
27
Burt.
AA.
All right, he's got a shot. Atlanta -8 against Carolina. Total of 48. I kind of like Carolina.
Yeah, I kind of like Carolina. Atlanta needs it, but I don't think.
Yeah, but I kind of
Carolina's-
like Carolina if
No,
Tampa
I
Bay gets out
agree.
to a big lead.
I agree. I like catching over a touchdown.
Can't go against the Falcons. I'm still on the Falcons train. I know I'm the last one.
That's going to die soon. Washington
Well, no,
-6
the Falcons can
against Dallas. Total of 44. Nothing there.
nothing there.
Yeah, maybe over.
Tennessee -1.5 against Houston. Total of 37. Tennessee favored. They're going to win. They could blow the number 1 pick too.
Well, the Texans have nothing to play for.
Yeah,
I don't even. This could be just a disaster.
If Houston's smart, they lose to let Tennessee get out of the one.
this
they're not-
might be the worst
Yeah.
game of the week.
Ev, we were talking about this yesterday. If you're the Chiefs, right?
Yeah.
Do you want to try and win this game to get the Bengals in to try and take out, so the Bills have to have that tough first game?
No, you would have to lose this game.
No.
The Bengals need to win.
No, but they need they need the
Chiefs are
Broncos.
playing the
to
Broncos.
lose.
Yeah.
Oh, I apologize. All right, I looked at the wrong thing. I'm sorry.
So people are saying this. This is not me take. This is what's been on. If the Chiefs want to have because if you want to play someone, I understand either one is tough, but like you already lost to the Bills. You want the Bills and Bengals to have because the Bills will probably have a pretty easy way, I would say, if they don't play the Bengals. Like who would would it
get
be
the
Broncos probably.
Yeah, the Broncos. They're not going.
But if I lose to the Broncos, then the Bengals are gone regardless.
Correct.
No, but they're talking. Yeah, we're not talking about that.
No, but
He's saying what would I rather?
Yeah.
Yeah,
If I'm the Chiefs, I want the Bengals nowhere near this playoffs. I'd like them out.
I would too. I agree with that. That's what I'm saying,
just-
Marty. It's like, that's what-
I think they're bigger.
Other people are saying.
I think they're a bigger threat.
Bengals
I just think
defense is so like the Chiefs are just like be completely fine with.
I also don't
saying you
wanna
want
rest everybody.
saying you want to like beat the Broncos to kind of like unleash the Bengals like on the Bills. I think it's just a scary proposition. That you're creating the Joe Burrow monster. That's
I agree. I'm
rearing
with
its
you
ugly
guys.
head all season. It might just come to roost like when it matters most.
I'm with you guys. Like you don't have to worry about the Bills until it really matters anyway. So like just.
And I also want to.
They don't want to play the
Bengals. 2
Bengals.
weeks
Like,
off now.
You'd rather have one.
they'd
really
rather
good team
play
in
Denver.
than have 2 really good teams in, and if one team takes them out, it's like fuck. Like
you rather see Denver in the.
What if you get lucky? What if the Broncos beat the Bills somehow? And now I'm the Broncos.
yeah,
Great.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, because you want to like if you're in this scenario, you're like trying to get the Bengals in. What happens when they beat the fucking?
Right, now I got to deal with them.
Now you got to deal with them. Who they almost beat you earlier this year. They're like the only guy and only team that's ever beat you in the playoffs here. Like I just think you don't want to see.
And have
Joe
you
Burrow.
guys?
I don't think anyone wants to see Joe Burrow in the playoffs.
They're not going.
If he lures you into a shootout, I'm saying like
I think the Broncos take care of business.
no, they
I
will.
also
They
think
will.
the
but
Dolphins are going to win too. So I know
should.
2 is not playing, but like they have to have 2 teams.
I'm
lose.
less sure about that, even though I hope it happens.
Real quick too, I'm so over. I don't care about this record for Saquon. I feel bad for him. I wish because he did seem like he wanted to play, but also Sirianni would probably get like literally fired if Saquon got hurt in this game. I understand everyone.
Also, 17 games.
Also
or
the extra
6,
game.
17.
No, it's less. It's less carries. That's what people aren't talking
he
about.
did on less carries.
A lot less carries than
So,
Dickerson.
A stat I saw the stat today I think he's the 9th guy to run for 2,000 yards.
Interesting.
Second least carries to do it.
That's
Only last was Barry.
That's something where it's like
Second
everyone
least
says
carries
games,
of everyone of the 9.
which
Second
games
least
make
carries.
sense, but carries is less. But also back then, like the running game was like everyone knew you were running pretty much.
Yeah.
So it's like
It was harder to run back then.
but it's also not his fault. It's less carries. I said the same thing, boss. So it's like, it's a game, but then someone was like, it's like 60 less carries.
Interesting. That changes it.
It's a fair point.
Yeah. But it's also like, I feel bad for Saquon because he wants it, but also I understand the decision 100% because like everyone's like, let him play, let him play. It's like you would be saying the opposite once
If he was
14 yards away, let him play.
Yes.
He's what, 90 or 100 yards away?
103.
Yeah,
I
that's a
believe.
whole game. I can't do that. Sorry.
Yeah.
Indy minus 4.5 against Jacksonville. I really like Indy here.
Oh,
Colts end the season on a win. Jacksonville's
Fuck the
horrific. They're going to
Colts.
fire their coach.
all over the Colts.
Yeah, I love the Colts in this spot.
Anthony Richardson got a talking to as well from the team.
Denver minus 10.5 against Kansas City. Total of 40. I don't know what to do there. I think Kansas City's defense could still keep them in.
I was reading a lot.
Can't
that-
sit
I almost wanted to take the Chiefs,
You
too.
can't
for
sit
real.
everybody.
With Wentz starting, I
Yeah.
like the Chiefs plus
Ev,
10
I was reading a lot out of this yesterday about Wentz being like the next Sam Darnold.
This is the tryout.
A year after Andy Reid, a year with Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, he's gone through his Chiefs rehab, like Rico likes to say, and then goes somewhere else.
He did it last year and played well in that last game. They
did.
He like I think they're catching 10.5. Like this team, it's still the same coaches. They're obviously sitting a lot of guys, but I mean,
Their defense is.
I think that's
so
a-
much
I think it's a-
worse
I think
without
it's a-
In
those guys.
Denver, too.
it's a lot. To me, it's a lot of points, and
I
a
think
team like
10's good
Denver.
enough.
The only I'm doing the Cortland Sutton bet I like.
Yeah, I like that.
And Denver also like there's still it's a game like you need to win it. Like you're still kind of playing with your like as much as though it's like an easy game, like they're sitting everybody. It's a game they absolutely have to have. So I think you're still playing a little bit like you're still playing a little tight.
Yeah.
You still like what happens if they go down and score on you down 70? They're like, oh my god, we got a game here. Like, we got to go win this thing.
Fair
We're
point.
fucked. Their season's over.
Miami minus 1 going to the Jets. Total 39. No interest.
I have
Kind of like Miami, though. I think the Jets are a pack of losers. They're just like,
I have 2 plays I like here.
Yeah.
Devontae Adams.
I could see Aaron Rodgers just like
yeah,
slinging
it.
this
Yeah.
kid.
So Aaron Rodgers has 499 career touchdowns, trying to get 500. He said he wants to throw it to Devontae Adams. So Devontae Adams anytime touchdowns plus 145.
Okay.
The other
I thought he got it last week.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. Is that a joke?
Wait,
No, he didn't. He got
He
shut
had,
out.
he had the worst game
oh,
any
that's right.
quarterback's
Tyrod
had.
came in. That's right. That's right. Tyrod
Now
came
the
in.
other play I like is Aaron Rodgers throwing an interception. That's minus 115. I think he's gonna be forcing it so much. I could see him throwing a pick there.
Do you think they triple team Devontae Adams in the end zone?
They'll be trying hard not to.
Yeah. So that's 2 plays I like to watch for.
I also like the Chargers minus 4.5 going to Vegas. Jim Harbaugh's going to win games. I don't care if they're sitting in him. I don't even know who's playing for the
Yeah, I
Chargers.
don't hate it.
He's a coach that's going to win. Vegas checked out easy. 41.5. Seattle minus 6.5 going to the Rams. 39. I see Geno's got some obviously incentives.
Needs the props.
I think Seahawks would be the play there. Arizona minus 4.5
like
against
this.
San Francisco. Total 42.5. Nothing in that. And then the big one, Detroit minus 2.5 against Minnesota. Total 56.5.
Vikings plus 2.5. Martin Mush is on. I love the Vikings.
I'm Vikings plus 3.
I'm
I bumped it up a
riding.
little bit.
Anyone else?
Undecided.
Yeah, I think it's a better story for the Vikings. Like it's weird because the Lions are a great story. They've been tortured, and then you would have to go through them in the NFC. We saw how close they got last year, but they went to San Francisco last year, obviously, right? In the NFC Championship game.
Yes.
So like now they would host it. What would their fan base do on 2 weeks of Super Bowl time in New Orleans? Like they'd be nutbags. They could potentially play the Bills. 2 fan bases. Like it seems like everything's in the stars for Detroit to get there. And sometimes that's how it works out.
This is where
Other
you-
times it's like, oh shit, a little road bump you didn't see happening or a speed bump.
That defense is taxed.
This is where you see a downfall of the Lions. They're going to lose this week, get shredded by Sam Darnold in a heartbreaking Week 18 game, and then have to face Baker Mayfield on the road.
Yeah.
And there's a chance Detroit doesn't win a playoff game, which would be very
Detroit
shocking for
having
a
to play
14-win
on
team.
Tampa Bay already beat them.
Ben Johnson gets a
insane.
job as a head coach. Dan Campbell left scrambling. Lions may have had their best shot last year.
My hot take is even this. Even if Detroit wins this game, I think Tampa's super pesky in that divisional round.
They definitely are.
They already beat them once. I
Playing
know
good ball too.
indoors. I know Detroit's really good at home, but like you put the Bucks offense at
Their
home,
defense is letting up 30 points a game.
shootout. Yeah, Tampa Bay could turn that into a
The
shootout.
Lions defense it's not their fault. They're injured. It sucks.
Yeah, no,
it's
they're
sad.
in
So that's the only reason I'm on the Vikings. I just
Oh,
don't trust the Lions defense.
100%.
I probably will be. It's almost I feel like there's been I guess my pause is like the contrarian in me that there's been like such a turn on like everyone's kind of out in the Lions. Everyone was kind of not really giving Minnesota the respect they deserve. Now all of a sudden like everyone's so in on the Vikings now after it
But I'm
feels
getting
like,
3 points though.
No. I'm not even saying I'm not saying I like there's I might just bet the Vikings. I mean I'm like processing. I'm like everyone's on. I need to like reassess this. But I mean Vikings they obviously have the defensive edge, which I think is huge. Probably go over too. I think
The over is 56.5.
56.
I think it's
a lot.
crazy. I think that's almost like that to me feels like one of those games where it's like one of those classic Big 12 games where it's like 70, and you're like scared to take it, and then it's like 47-45, like it's the final. You know what I mean? Where
They
like
cash it in the third quarter.
I mean, look at that. Look at that. They played San Fran. I mean, like that game was just up and down because Detroit kind of lures you into that game. Like everyone scores on them, and they score on everybody.
I do want to say something real fast about that. I watched Debo talk a little bit about the Super Bowl hangover when you lose. They were like, because I was wondering what happened with the 49ers this year, and he was like, I'm going to be honest, that losing that Super Bowl really fucked us up because like they were there again.
Again, they were winning. They were winning the whole game.
And it's like your whole season was that, and all of a sudden you lose. It was all for nothing, and like you got to be back at work in 3 weeks. It's like he's like you got to be like that's what starts like right away almost, and it's just they're like so distraught, and they were the way he was talking about it. You could see it, like hear it in his voice, where it was like it really fucked up our team, and it makes sense. You're how long is the season? September to
it's September
February?
to like February.
You got camps and stuff.
I mean, it's technically like year round.
I mean, yeah, pretty much. And you got to think about the run that they've had over the last like 5-6 years, like a little bit different, but like almost like a Bills-esque. Like they were so close. They've had leads in the Super Bowl twice in the fourth quarter in the last like 4 years. I've no Super Bowls.
In the last,
They've been so fucking close over and over again.
Starting in like April,
they were up double digits on the first Super Bowl in the fourth quarter and lost the game.
Yeah.
You talking about the one to the Chiefs?
Yes.
I'll go back even further.
I mean,
they had a big lead.
leads.
I know it's a
They had
different
leads.
regime. It's a different regime. It's a massive different quarterback. But from a fan base perspective, didn't they have a big lead against the Ravens? Isn't that
no,
crazy?
it's complete opposite.
No, they were losing.
Then they came back? All right, I
they
apologize.
came back when the
All right, I
lights went
apologize.
off. Yeah.
Apologize.
They had to come back.
Yeah. But that was a close game, too.
Well, it ended
So,
up
like,
being
now
really
you have
close.
3 Super Bowl losses of, like, torture.
But I'm saying, but he was talking about this core of, like, Debo. I mean, the crazy, the first one was Jimmy, the one I'm talking about. That was Garoppolo. But of, like, Kittle and, like, all these guys, like, they're, like, Trent Williams and also all, like, Fred Warner and some of these defensive guys, like, they've been NFC Championship game, Super Bowl, like, multiple times each with this core and they just can't do it. Like the Rams when they lost a heartbreaker to the Rams. Rams going to win the Super Bowl. They've just been so close.
You've seen a lot of, you've seen it in all across the sports. Knicks got close, couldn't do it. Like, I'm sure there's baseball teams I'm thinking of, got there. The Mets in 06 got close, couldn't do it. Like, and then that window closed. It's just ways how things go.
I think this team can regroup. Like, I believe they can bounce back. Okay. Like, get close again.
they also lost their best receiver this year too. So like
that's what I'm saying. They had a lot of shit.
McCaffrey didn't.
Yeah, he didn't play.
Himself,
There's a little bit. It's a year from. It's just a year from hell.
Problem is, I don't know if
Best
he's gonna
offensive
collect
weapons.
ever.
I don't either.
It's just a year from hell.
This shit seems like it's like almost like a Mike Trout situation where it's like you just start feeling bad for him when he comes back. 'cause
Well,
he's
now
really
they can
hurt.
make the difficult decisions of like cutting guys as opposed to like
Yeah.
having some loyalty. It's like you missed the playoffs. Now's the time where you start like
Right.
stripping down.
Change it up.
And you're gonna get a last place schedule next
I think
year.
Debo's just
That'll help too,
another
Philly,
one
right.
guy.
Change it up. Picks for tonight. I'm on St. Louis -2 against a struggling St. Joe's team. Clemmer, what do you got?
I only have the football place.
All right. Ed, what do you got?
We're doing some bowl games still. I'm taking the under in North Texas, Texas State. Ton of opt outs. But like especially North Texas, like half their offense, a high explosive offense. They opted out. I'm on Minnesota. They've been good in flex, been good in bowls. They have, I think Tech is like 20 opt outs. Minnesota's like 7, 8, I think, something like that. I think they got more of their like strength. Their team is there. And yeah, already locked in the Bengals for tomorrow. Oh, I'm on Ohio State today. I'm basking in hoops.
Okay.
Go
I'm
Ohio
home against
State
Michigan State.
-2.5. I love Marquette -10.5. If I always do a team, I always bet a team besides Duke to win it all. I have officially put Marquette to win it all as well.
I love Cam Jones.
Cam Jones is very good. They
Stud.
have the
Hopefully
they
they don't have
have
to play
the
Dayton.
what?
Hopefully they don't have to play Dayton again.
Dayton's the real deal. Duke's. I'm on the train. They're the real fucking deal.
What do you got behind the glass?
Kyler Murray anytime TD. Kyler Murray for 50+ rushing. Mike Evans 90+ receiving. Cortland Sutton 80+ receiving.
Dukes.
Incentive Meek.
I got one of my favorite plays of the year.
Uh-oh.
Oh, please.
Georgetown -1.5 against Xavier.
I kind of like it, Dukes.
Georgetown's pretty good.
Nobody
kinda
knows
like
about
it,
Georgetown,
Dukes.
how much better they've gotten. Year
I
2
kind
under
of like
Cooley.
it, Dukes.
They have a trio of Malik Mack transfer from Harvard. They got Micah Peavy. They got Jaden Epps. And then they got this freshman, Thomas Sorber. If Thomas Sorber was on any top 20 team, he'd be getting looked at as a top 10 pick. Georgetown tonight.
All
One
right.
of the best
It is
offenses in the
crazy
country.
where it's like, yeah, Ed Cooley, like it was pretty fucked up what he did, but it's like he's still a really good coach.
Yes.
year two got this thing turned around.
Yeah.
Let's talk about two different where Georgetown is. Right
And
now,
where the other team is
Providence.
They're in
bad.
disaster.
I mean-
Not good for the PCBC right now.
No.
I
But,
tried saying Kim English just isn't like he's a nice young coach that can recruit the shit out of players, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's like he doesn't make any adjustments. He's trying to do an NBA fucking offense with nobody that's going to the NBA. Devin Carter made him look like a genius last year, and Devin Carter wasn't even his guy.
How's
Now
Devin
that
Carter
Bryce,
doing?
And there's something weird going on with Bryce Hopkins. Like he had coming off the torn ACL. Then he was like in the lineup. Now he's out of it. Like, will he even play this year because Providence is so in the gutter? So it's like I get like you put a lot of NIL resources into B-Hop, but like you have to have a backup plan if he's not going to be there. It's so
Yeah.
fucking weird.
Clemmer,
Yeah.
we just keep winning by 20. It's fine. It's like I don't even like. I have to tweet about the games. They're so easy.
Duke's just really good.
They're
Very good. It's an open year, though. I think.
Isaiah Evans coming off the bench. Oh my God.
We're gonna now the season starts. You start seeing conference play and things go, and so we'll see.
You know what's crazy? Imagine how much better Cooper Fly is going to be in April.
Oh,
March.
Well, there's also you could also make an argument though that
Uh-oh.
like ready for this, Marty?
Uh-oh.
I've turned myself into this. Now you have like the SEC, the Big 12, and the Big 10, or not as much the Big 10 as years past, but you have a real gauntlet of a conference play.
Mm-hmm.
Duke is very fucking good,
Yes.
but would you say they have a gauntlet this year in the ACC?
They
Do you
already.
think they'll be prepared for the tournament with the ACC?
Yeah, definitely. Because there's still some. It's not like they're fucking playing the school of the blind. They're playing some tough games. They already played really tough games as well. Like you talk about that SEC, they already beat the best team in the SEC.
At home, yeah.
Yeah, they beat them.
At home.
What are you supposed to do? You know, want me to call them and play a away game?
Yeah.
You lost
Yeah.
to Cincinnati. Let's slow it down.
Cincinnati's a
fella.
top 25 team.
Lost to K-State. K-State with a big win the other
Is
day.
Cooper Flag having the best freshman season you've seen someone have at Duke, or are you putting like Zion over him?
Zion's was like.
Is Zion the only one, or?
Jason Tatum's was really good too. Like the problem is like there's this the
Kyrie was lights out before he got hurt.
Duke
He
team
was on pace to have the best.
Yeah, the Duke team right now has a lot of like different pieces that he doesn't need to do everything. Like I could tell he's obviously going to be fucking incredible in the NBA, but as a freshman like best, no.
You know
But
what's
he's
funny?
still
Like, so Zion obviously went to the Pelicans. Pelicans right now would have the, obviously
Oh,
the lottery.
jeez.
That would be the number one team right now.
Remember when Zion broke his shoe? Like
Yeah.
through his
Yeah,
shoe.
yeah,
like
yeah.
That? Like Zion was one of the guys. Like it would probably be the biggest hype. Like Cooper Flag was pretty close. In my opinion, I know people don't think that, but Zion.
I think Zion was such in his own like. It's nothing even against Flag. Zion was
I'm
such
saying it
in
was
the
the
different.
Which is
closest
weird because
we haven't-
Flag is a bigger like prospect. I want to see.
It's the he's a
I know.
freak.
Never
It's
seen
the-
someone jump
the
like
skinny
that.
white
Yeah.
guy versus like this.
Also, you knew Zion in
just
ninth grade.
monster
Yeah,
athlete
Zion
who's
was. You're right.
Huge
But-
legs.
No,
and-
people have known Flag for a couple of years too.
Yeah,
He
Zion.
also reclassed. That was a story. He
Well,
jumped
him
up.
playing in the USA team
Yeah.
for practice was like the biggest thing. Where like that's why I'm saying I think he got the hype like Zion, but it wasn't still.
There was
that
Zion
close.
was also like seventh Woods in a way. Seventh Woods was
Yes,
this guy
yes.
who went to UNC, who could jump out of the gym and had kind of that like top-rated recruit, but like everybody knew him in ninth grade.
He's a
Then he
meme,
went, Then he went
too.
to UNC and he sucked. So Zion came in and was like, oh, RJ Barrett's the guy, and like you have Cam Reddish who's getting so much hype in the AAU scene. But
One
Zion
good
ended
game.
up being the best player. I mean, Zion,
One good
I don't
game
think.
against Louisville, Cam Reddish, that piece of shit. That's all he did. He was hard.
Also,
I
speaking of
think
the
the biggest
devil,
hype I can remember is LeBron, right, number one, and then maybe Shaq. When Shaq and Zion were, I think, similar
Bob Cousy out of Holy Cross too.
before my time. Oh, he was.
also speaking
Phil
of the
Simmons
Bob
would-
Cousy
Phil
was probably
Simmons would say it.
electric.
Oh, he
Phil
was.
Simmons would have said it.
speaking of
Oh,
the
he was.
Devin Carter makes his debut in the NBA tonight.
He'll be. Dude,
Oh, that's
so
exactly how he
good.
was doing. That's his
That's what I
debut.
said. He makes
Alright.
his debut tonight for the Kings.
He
It's a
had
good,
like
good sign for Devin Carter.
what?
Nothing. He makes his debut in the NBA tonight.
He's great. I saw the Nets are going to try to get him.
All right.
Can I say one more thing about college
Sure.
basketball? Anyone watch Illinois last night?
Yeah, they fucking
Holy
dominated Duke. Illinois. Hey, that's a gauntlet right there. Duke, Illinois,
Oh,
February,
they play 'em later in
MSG.
oh wow, that's great. All right, so yeah, they'll get
Good
battle
game.
tested.
That's
I think
actually a
Illinois-
really good game. in
I said,
February.
who did Illinois lose to early on?
Bama.
Bama, and I was like, I think Illinois. They were at
Underwood's
it.
a good coach.
Great coach.
Friend
Friend of the program.
Are you sure about this?
or his
What
son
colors were you
is.
donning?
What?
What colors?
I've
were you?
worn their clothes.
Oh, all right.
Is he a friend or the son?
Son. But I met him at the Final Four. I said hello to him. So
Friends.
that's what it is.
Does he know who you are?
I don't think so.
If you shake someone's hand, are they a friend of yours? Is that what you kind of consider?
If they work for a college basketball
right?
team,
Yeah,
If they're a regular
Because
person.
the thing is,
no.
it's
No,
one of
no.
those. Yeah, it's like
They're
a
a
collection.
coach.
The
You're
goal
upsetting
is, it's like that guy in Up in the Air. Like the goal is the miles. Like the goal is the friends. So like you're just loosely. Yeah, it's like
Everyone's a
bring
friend.
them all in. Yeah, exactly. All right, that's it.
How many people do you know? Like, how many people know your name?
Oh God,
I don't know.
His phone is so heavy right now.
I just
want
want to know how many coaches know your name.
40 to 50. Like heads.
How many,
At least
How many know your
Or
government?
aware
How
of
many know
his
your
presence.
government name?
6.
Okay, so yes, six.
What 6 know
6.
your name?
Oates does because last year at the Final Four he goes, "Who the fuck is Terrence?" He's not aware. That's a good one. All right, that's Big Central. That's a good one. The Yak's up. Yak rocking now. We'll catch you on Monday.